What's going on YouTube? This is 556 again with another video. Now today's video is not going to be the traditional gun review that I normally do. Today is actually going to be about the aftermath of a self-defense shooting. Now I took it upon myself to actually go into this topic because it's a very serious topic that I feel like people should know, and I will give my opinion on it. And to make a quick disclaimer, by no means am I a lawyer, so this is not professional advice. This is just what I dug through and came across and felt the need that this is a serious topic that most gun owners should know who carry. So if you're new to the channel, also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Uh, any suggestions, comments, concerns, I will reply back within a timely manner. So without further ado, let's actually get into the subject. All right, YouTube. So the video is about the title of this video, the aftermath of a self-defense shooting. But before I go any further in this, it's not to go off subject because it kind of ties into what I'm actually going to talk about in this video. Is the fact that if you're a gun owner, you should know that you have a certain standard of responsibility and know that sets you apart from anyone else. And you should know when is an actual self-defense situation and when isn't an actual self-defense situation. And the reason why I say this kind of ties into it is because you could find yourself in trouble, and sometimes even if it may be justified, it might not be justified, it'll still land you in jail. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, okay, certain scenarios, say for instance, you're at a gas station and someone wants to decide to rob you, so to speak, and they're meeting you with a threatful presence. They already have a weapon drawn on you and they plan on, letting off some shots. But before you see this, you see a gun, and before you see the situation unfolding, that's why I always say be aware of your surroundings. You draw your weapon in turn in response to this action that is about to take place. Now, the person who's trying to rob you takes shots. You return fire, and in turn, if you don't get hit, and and you practice your drills, and done what you're supposed to do as a responsible gun owner, you not necessarily take down the threat, but incapacitize the threat so he is no longer a threat. That is a perfect self-defense situation. Now, what isn't a perfect self-defense situation is the fact that you're met with aggression, and this person you may feel like might be a threat but isn't, and you shoot them on the principle of just cause. Or even if you see a weapon and they return fire but yet they try to get away from the situation, at that point that person is no longer a threat, so you're not supposed to chase that person down after they're trying to get away. That's when you're wrong. So that's the error that you would make on your part, and that's what would land you in jail, and would actually be not beneficial to you at this point. Because let's just face the facts. If you're no longer in danger and the person is no longer a threat and they're trying to get away, at that point you should be the well reserved person that you are, because you're responsible enough to carry a gun. You're not a criminal. You withdraw and get away from the situation. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, the aftermath of what happens in a self-defense situation. So, say for instance, you're out late night and you're jogging, and some criminal, some punk thinks he's all bad because he's got a gun, says, "Hey, I want to rob that guy." And they plot to rob you, and they might try to surprise you, or you might pay attention to your surroundings, and they reach out and try to take shots at you or anything of that nature. And in return, because you carry I don't know anyone who has a gun license and would not carry their weapon wherever they go, even if you're jogging at night or early in the morning, because criminals nowadays have just gotten out of hand. And you decide to defend your life. And this time, the actual criminal is fatally wounded, like you've killed him. So, in the midst of this happening, first thing you should do is call 911 with these words specifically. Hey, I just committed a self-defense shooting. I am at this address, such and such. Get here. Just like that. By the time the police get here, you should already have your weapon unloaded and you should not have access to that weapon. Once they get here, don't explain anything. And the reason why I say that is because what you say will be used against you. So when they read you your Miranda rights and they say that you have a right to remain silent, anything that can be used and will be used against you in a court of law, that is a fact. That will happen. Even if they have the evidence to say that you did not, it was justified, you'll still land up in jail because of what you say. Don't say anything, because anyone that knows anything about science and forensics, science does not lie. We may lie, but science doesn't. So the facts are there. So once they're here and they're scoping the crime scene, things of that nature, I will say, if the police can't determine right then and there if it was justified, and that's based off of, where the person was shot, the entry wound, the exit wound, and they look at all of that. They take all of that into account. So if they can't determine right then and there, yes, you will go to jail. That will happen. But if it's justified, you will get out. Now, I will say one thing about this though. It helps to have a witness. Now, if you have a witness that witnessed this whole thing transpire, then that will help you stay out of jail. So it's always good to have witnesses, but it's times that you will defend yourself and you probably won't. So this is the knowledge that I'm trying to give respectable gun owners if they don't already know. Another good thing is to make sure that you know the laws in your state. Some states actually have stand your ground laws, so they're a little bit more lenient on self-defense, as far as, shooting someone. Because I was always told by a good friend of mine, dead men don't talk. So in that situation, I'm not condoning taking the life, but if it happens, it happens. And on top of that, at that point, it's up to the evidence to clear you. Because the thing about it, if the person happens to live, then it's your word against his, and then that person can ultimately still sue you regardless. So there's a lot more other legalities that goes on into play within the self-defense shooting. But best be prepared. If that happens, just know that this is the outcome. But that's why you, being a respectable gun owner, you must be vigilant and know to remove yourself out of a situation. Because at the end of the day, when a gun's involved, or just the fact that you being a gun owner, you're going to jail regardless. So you want to try to eliminate yourself as much as possible from any kind of altercations entirely. Like, remove yourself away from it until a situation arises where you can't. And it's either you defend your life or you let them take you. And I don't know anybody who wants to just lay down and die just like that. So, all right, YouTube, that pretty much concludes today's video. Also, before I forget, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. I respect any member of the branch of service, because your sacrifices do go unnoticed to some who don't understand or appreciate the sacrifices that you guys made. So hats off to you guys. Today is your day, and I hope you enjoyed it, and anyone around you made you feel appreciated. But without that being said, that pretty much concludes today's video. Any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to leave them down in this video. I will answer them. And also, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel and also like and share my videos. Your time is very appreciated, and I appreciate you. Reaper 556 out.